Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I hope everyone's doing really well. Today is Thursday, and it's really quite warm out today. It's unusually warm. It's 25 degrees warmer here in New England than what it should be. So thank you for all the feedback on all the different changes I've made with lighting and the camera angle. And I'm still listening to your suggestions. And so thank you. In this video, we're going to be talking about two things. One are these leaked Pentagon documents. That's really a big deal. It has to do with the Russian government. I don't know if you heard, but we'll talk about that. And we'll also talk about Letitia, James, and 45 back in New York. That didn't go anywhere. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to do a 3-card pull using the Angel Wisdom Tarot at the very end. And I'm glad so many thousands of you liked that spirit guide piles. Those piles that I did in that last video where you could choose. If you haven't already looked at that video, check out that last video because thousands of you actually watched it and hundreds of you sent me back feedback saying that, okay, you picked the one that, you don't know what you're picking when you pick it, but it had the wolf and then all of a sudden you're seeing a wolf. Or yes, you have been working with your ancestors. That's why your ancestors are coming forward. And a lot of you said the same thing. It was amazingly accurate. So let's do that, okay? We'll do that again for sure. It takes a lot to make those piles, but if you enjoy it, then I will definitely do it. This Sunday, I'm going to be doing an evening of channeling. So if you're a member, for all members, we're going to do Rahasha. I am the only channeler for the Rahasha Collective. And I'll be doing a live channeling with a message from the Ra, and then a live Q&A where you can ask the Ra questions. And then for angel members afterwards, we're going to be working with Archangel Michael, and I'll do a live channeling with Michael. Once again, you can ask Michael questions. And typically, almost everyone gets their questions answered when I do the Archangel ones. So I can't make any promises, but typically. So if you haven't already, please hit the like button, comment, subscribe, check out membership. My brother is indeed home. He is doing well. I've been trained on how to do his PICC lines and flush them and put in medications, and because he's still on multiple antibiotics, but he is indeed up and walking around and eating and all those good things. So once again, thank you for all your prayers. Annie and Maggie are both doing well. If you don't know, those are my 2 senior kitty babies. They're both doing well. And so let's get into it here. So we have these leaked Pentagon documents. And what we found out is that the Russian government is having infighting over the war in Ukraine. And it's 27 pages long. And it talks about things like they're bickering about what the casualty count is, ammunition supply. Vlad went as far as to call his own officers there treasonous for not doing the ammunition correctly, for not giving the right supplies to the people that, his soldiers, that is. And it also shows you how much the U.S. has penetrated the Russian Ministry of Defense. So I thought we would take a look at these documents. What do we need to know, Spirit, from these documents? What would be helpful for us to learn at this time? Because, this is significant, and we really got this inside glimpse of what's going on, didn't we? Okay. And I hope you can kind of see the cards a little bit better than before. Interesting that the High Priestess comes up first. If I go out one more, interesting. Okay, so we get the High Priestess to represent the situation, and the High Priestess is all about secret agendas and hidden motives. And isn't that what this is all about? Things that we didn't know, things that we didn't know. And so things that we didn't know are coming to light. The obstacle is, let me ask Spirit how to read this one. What do we need to know about this, Spirit? My guides are saying ultimately Vlad is walking away from this. He is not going to keep this up forever. This war is coming to an end, and he's sort of feeling a bit defeated. You know, there is a sense of defeat, sadness, regret, remorse with all of this. And so I do believe he is ultimately going to be walking away, and we're getting little snippets and glimpses of this. But he is trying to be strong. Okay. He is trying to hold it together. He's trying to pull all of this together, but he's having a difficult time. We've gotten this card for Vlad before. He does think he is the emperor, doesn't he? He does think like he's king for the day. There is a lot of ego when we read him, isn't there? And it's been pretty consistent. But, you know, I think for me, this is Ukraine. This is families united again. People coming back together again, you know, people being able to live normal lives again. Like, this isn't going to last forever. I feel like it is going to go a few more months. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's going to end today or tomorrow, but it's going to end, and Ukrainians are going to feel this way. But in the meantime, they're feeling stress, worry, anxiety. They're having sleepless nights. How could they not? Their country is being bombed, correct? So I think that's a pretty accurate reading. Let's take a bit of a look at Vlad and just see what's going on with him right now. What's going on with his psyche, what's happening with him. Because I feel like he's in turmoil. And like I've said before, I feel like he's sick. And to me, it does feel neurological. If he had Parkinson's, like a lot of people speculate, I would not be surprised. He doesn't have that sharpness that he once had. You know, I'm not saying that he was ever a nice person, but he did have a certain amount of sharpness to him, you know? So something changed. Something changed. You know, he is ex-KGB. Interesting. So he's still very passionate, very enthusiastic, but he is going it all alone. Yeah, so this is interesting. So he still has like a lot of vim and vigor, so to speak. He's still going. He hasn't tired of this yet, but you know what? Nothing lasts forever. And as you kind of get into the rest of the cards here, you can see that things start to change for him. He's still plotting, planning, and scheming, but it's in the obstacle position because my card is always, I always place them this way as if I'm doing a mini Celtic cross. And by the way, I'm going to be putting out videos for the general public with little snippets on how you read tarot. I know a lot of you already do, but you know, I always encourage all of you to pull your tarot cards along with mine so we can sort of compare and contrast, but more often than not, you're getting the same answers I'm getting. So his problem too is also being on the world stage. This character, Two of Wands, is holding the world. And he's really fallen from grace when it comes to the world stage, hasn't he? He did not get the support. And look at this. Here he is, the hermit, not getting any support. He is going all alone. I think he thought everyone, you know, that wasn't like, say, the US, and maybe some of our allies, were going to come rushing to his aid. And that didn't happen, did it? But this is like part of his fate, but it's a turning point at the same time. This is a turning point in his life, and I think it's a turning point towards his psyche, his health, but also the well-being of his country. It is going to take quite a while for Russia to bounce back, and he winds up as the Queen of Cups, which you would never, because for me, he would be more, before all of this, he would have been more of like the King of Swords, you know, that sharp intellect. But now look, Queen of Cups. He's extremely emotional. So we know that when everything is said and done, this is not going the way he wanted it to go. So let's look at what is happening with 45. Oh my goodness. So 45 facing depositions in New York with the AG, Letitia James. We've talked about Letitia James many times on this channel. This is a fraud lawsuit. It's civil. It's for $250 million. $250 million. And it's fraud by his company for overstating like the values of his real estate, his properties, any assets that he had, basically. And he was overstating it to banks, insurance companies, the IRS, to get better loans and tax terms. So let's see what's going to happen with this. Because remember what I told you guys, once it starts, remember my April prediction. I don't know if you watched that April to May video that I put out, but we talked about this. And we've been talking about this actually for several months. Once it starts in the spring, it doesn't stop. There is no stopping this. It's going to just snowball on him, and it's just going to bowl him over. I don't think he's going to know which way is up by the time everything is said and done. This is going to be really tough for him. So, but once again, this is something that he created. He chose to overinflate his assets and to do these things. So let's just look at this situation with Letitia James and 45. Okay. Things are being juggled and balanced. He wants to go and he can't. So he is kind of wheeling, dealing, juggling, balancing, lots of balls in the air, trying to figure this all out. How do I make this work? And I think when you start looking at this reading, because we've looked at this situation before, but it's coming to light once again. So we can see that it's not going to work out for him, because look at what his obstacle is. He can't go. He's waiting for a ship to come in, and it's not coming in. It just isn't happening. This is very much, and that was 3 of Wands, if you're listening. It's a real snowball effect. And he just doesn't like any of the choices in front of him. 4 of Cups. He doesn't like what's in this cup or this cup, this cup. One cup comes out of the sky, and he still doesn't like it. And so, he doesn't like his choices. He doesn't like where he's at. And so this is a huge problem for him, indeed. He's used to very much being the magician, okay? And the magician, when he's at his best, manifests his desires into reality. The magician, when he's at his worst, is abusing power. He's being manipulative and controlling. And we know that this is the case when we look at the other cards. Here we go again. Stress, worry, anxiety, sleepless nights. And who's causing it? Here's Letitia right here. Queen of Wands. This is a woman who's smart, savvy, and the black cat stands for intuition. So she's going with a lot of her gut instincts, even though, yes, she has all the facts and the data and everything that she needs right in front of her, but she's also listening to her gut. And so she has a good gut instinct, is what the cards are saying. So I don't think that this is going to go well for him, for sure. Let's do some Angel Wisdom Tarot here. Put that there. And I have 3 great cards here. So just take a deep breath. Let it all out. Center yourself. And just see which card you feel drawn to. What message does Spirit have for you today? 1, 2, or 3? Don't think about it. Just go for it. Here we go. Card number 1 is the Moon. Gorgeous card. And it says, listen to your intuition and pay attention to signs from the divine. Unnecessary worry. Let go of your fears. Revelations that'll make everything clear. So stop holding on to things. Listen, just like Letitia James, listen to your gut instinct. Okay, listen to your intuition. Listen to that little voice that we all have that says, do this, don't do that. Pay attention to signs from the divine. Are you being sent birds and butterflies, angel numbers? Pay attention to those things. The Moon is a very intuitive, feminine also card. So it's a great card. Number 2 is the Sun. A time of great joy and success. Brilliant epiphanies that lead to magical opportunities. Plans that work out perfectly. Gratitude to the divine. So the Sun is all about enlightenment, new beginnings, learning new things, a time of prosperity. If you were asking yourself yes or no about something, this is definitely a yes card. And then number 3 is the Star. Do you like how I picked them? The Moon, the Sun, and the Star. So here's the star. Have faith, the future is bright. Dreams come true. Positive changes that bring an end to challenging times, the light at the end of the tunnel. So for all of you that have been struggling, having a tough time, this is a card of hope and faith, balance and harmony, things getting better. You know, you're ending that phase where everything was really difficult and now things are becoming better and easier and your dreams are starting to come true. So really just a beautiful message. You know, if you needed a message of hope, the star is always a card of hope. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. If you haven't already, please hit the like, subscribe, check out membership, leave me a comment, say hi, let me know how you're doing. And if you want to book a reading, go to dianneaquarius.com. I do have some openings in June, I believe. And membership is always busy. We're going to be doing that manifestation course this month. I'll be putting something out on the community tab and talking about it in my videos. So get ready for that. And just in case if I don't see you for a few days, have a really beautiful weekend. Bye, everybody.